Welcome to this crystal skull activation and meditation. Now, if you're in a hurry, bookmark this and come back later because this is described as a tutorial, an activation, and an afterglow. You know, it's like making love. You might need a little tutorial to see what to do and what goes where. And you surely need activation and taking your time. And then, really importantly, you need that afterglow. Skip any one of them, and you just won't have such a deep experience. So, enough about making love. Let's make love with your consciousness by helping you expand and activate. Now, at the time of Atlantis, there were 13 crystal skulls. I like using flashcards, although you might get aggravated with me. Why? Because I mess up all the time. And they were created to elevate humanity. They were stationed within an amethyst grotto. By the way, this is the tutorial part. Then I'll have the actual activation part. Then we'll have the afterglow part. So they were stationed within an amethyst grotto with 12 of them facing the walls of the cavern, which were amethyst crystals. I have one of those here. Let me see if I can get it real close. See, it's kind of purple. And by the way, when we get to the meditation part, if you can get your hands on a crystal, do so. If you can't, just imagine. We're doing this whole thing in our imagination anyway. But all crystals are connected. So, I speak to one, I speak to all. So, they were for the elevation of humanity. As a matter of fact, they were like a portal to no time where you could easily traverse different dimensions. And I'm not going to go into the whole history of that. I'm going to tell you where you can get more information. If you look at the Aztec stone calendar today, well, it's ancient, passed down from the Mayans and other civilizations. Look in the very center. There is a skull. Now, the chaos energies have taken that image of the skull and associated negativity with it, like what's on the bottle of poison, skull and crossbones. What do pirates wave? Flag with the skull on it. However, guess what? That little seed of memory, that seed of awakening is coming forth anyway. Because everywhere you go, it's very fashionable now to be wearing a skull. So why do you suppose that the keepers of the crystals, the ancient ones, sculpted these skulls out of crystal? Well, I already said for the elevation of humanity, but history is stored in stone and bone. A crystal could be associated with the mineral kingdom, stone. And by the way, it's not so unusual. It's the crystal chip that has revolutionized technology. There is an association. So a skull has the most bone surface, storage of wisdom, than any other place on the human body. That's where the skin is thin. There's very little skin covering your skull. And when we get into the meditation, you'll see how that's relative. Now, I want to thank someone. And by the way, pay attention to the links I put below this video, because everything I talk about, I'm going to give you a link to read about. I'm going to thank Patricia, Cori. Now, see there, will I ever get this right? Ah, there you go. Who wrote Atlantis Rising for the inspiration for this meditation. Now, let's move into what's going to happen in the meditation. Now you have to move into your imagination. You will approach the grotto or cavern. And I made myself a little note, so I'll make sure and do this correctly for you. Although Spirit is guiding, when we get into the meditation, you'll just flow. So you're going to approach the cavern, which is covered with amethyst crystals. And in your imagination, if we're going back to the time of no time, the skulls are not hidden as they are now. A few are emerging as humanity is ready, and this meditation's going to get humanity ready. So as you approach the cavern, the grotto, in your imagination, you're going to pause, and you're going to fill your heart with love and light. Because, beloved, if you're wanting to enter this grotto for any other reason, not going to happen. So, as you fill your heart with love for humanity, for mankind, that is the purpose of gathering these skulls back together. Even if we're doing it energetically, what is done in spirit shall be done in truth. So, you fill your heart with love. Now you call in your solar deity, in other words, rays from the sun. And you just become this golden being of light. Because what is needed, as far as my guidance, is to bring the life of the sun into the darkness, which the cavern certainly is dark inside. So you're going to become that golden light, and there are two priestesses guarding this cavern. You're going to show them your heart. Now, does that mean you have to be perfect? No. But it does mean that you're open for them to see that you have the good of humanity at the core of your being. Now, of course, I've done this meditation, and of course, I had to show them my heart. And guess what? They showed me a little sliver down at the bottom of judgment, self-judgment. If you're like me, you probably are so kind to everyone else, and when you mess up even a little bit, you just berate yourself to high heaven. So I asked them to cleanse it for me, which they did. And that's what you're going to do. You're just going to ask to be cleansed. Then they're going to ask you, what gift do you bring to enter this grotto? And beloveds, there is only one answer. I'm going to give you the answer to the question. The answer is, I bring the gift of loving on purpose from my human heart. You know, the magnetism of a human heart loving on purpose is the greatest power in all of the galaxies. Angels can't help but love. We can certainly help not loving. But when we intend, oh, I bring love on purpose. I bring love of Gaia. I bring love of Mother Earth. I bring love of humanity. Then you may enter. So now, my dog wants to come in. My dog wants to go on the meditation. He's so sweet. I'm going to go take care of him. I'll be right back. Okay, I took care of the dog. Now let's get back to this serious spiritual business. And by the way, if you're expecting some holy roller thing, not going to happen. So that pause can be your pause. So you might want to pause the video right here and pay attention to what number it's on, because you might want to do this meditation once a day for the next 12 days. Highly recommend it, because it will elevate your radiance. You will become more of a light being. You'll be amazed at how you feel. So pause it, so that when you come back to do the meditation again, you won't have to have the tutorial. So, are you ready? Close your eyes. And just let all the cares of the world drift away. You're doing some wonderful work on behalf of humanity, because only those who have good hearts would even be attracted to this. So as you allow yourself to relax, being in the space of stillness and love, take some deep breaths in and out. Now, in your imagination, approach the grotto, the cavern. Pay attention to whatever sounds or sensations may be around you. And then pause just before the entrance. You can see the two priestesses ahead. They're holding spears, and no one may enter without their permission. And fill your heart with love, love of humanity, for the good of all. And if it helps you, think of someone or something that you dearly love. Maybe it's your little dog. Maybe it's a child, a relative, a friend, a lover. Think of love, filling your heart with purest light. And now call for the energy of the solar deity, the sun, to enter as a pillar of golden light through your head, through your crown chakra, moving throughout all your body into the center of the earth, out through your feet. And you are a radiant pillar of light, a being of golden light, bringing this gift of solar light to the darkness of the cavern. And now approach the two priestesses. Show them your heart. Bare your chest. Show them your heart. And you'll know what they find there. Ask them to cleanse it. Cleanse me. Cleanse me. And so it is. You may now enter as soon as you answer one question. The priestesses ask, "What gift do you bring?" There is only one answer. I bring the gift of love on purpose from my human heart. You may enter. You enter the cavern. Your body is still glowing golden as you are radiating solar light. The union of earth and sky is represented here as you bring in the solar to the underground. You bring in nurturing solar light to the darkness. For a moment, you see radiated in the amethyst crystals the fire, the light that you are. And then you notice 12 crystal skulls in a circle. In the very epicenter of the circle, there is the 13th master skull. However, it is etheric. It is in the 6th dimension. You cannot touch it. When the hearts of men are ready, they will all be activated, and we will once again be in a place of accelerated ascension, only this time having proved that we choose the good of all humanity. We have left greed behind. And it doesn't have to be 1,000,000 people who do this. Only a few are needed. You are one. Simply be in this space for a moment, and then as you notice the 12 skulls, you will be attracted to one in particular. And you will approach that one you are attracted to. Each of the 12 skulls holds different attributes. The attributes that are most needed, matched up with, beneficial to you, will be the one you are attracted to. Go over to the skull you are attracted to. You must ask permission of the consciousness of the skull. May I touch you? Yes, you may touch me. You tenderly lift the skull off the pedestal. You feel the coolness of the crystalline material smooth beneath your fingers. You hold it to your heart, and you begin to feel the skull pulsating in rhythm with your heart. Remembering that wisdom, information, the history of the cosmos is stored in stone and bone. You lift that skull high above your head, and then you bring it down gently over your own skull, and it conforms to your cranial aspect. You feel the igniting of cellular memories. You will not hold this position very long, a few seconds. Each time you come, you may hold it a little longer. You feel yourself being activated as all the bones within your being begin to awaken to the memories stored there. And then you ever so gently lift the skull, crystalline, and place it back on the pedestal. You stand in silence for a moment. Your heart is filled with gratitude. You move over to the walls of the amethyst cave. And you bring the energy of sound. You have brought the energy of solar light to this place that has been in darkness, hidden beneath the earth. And now you bring the sounds of love. How would you express love? Oh, I love you. How would you express joy? The sounds of joy are universal. It doesn't matter what country you go to, when you see somebody clapping their hands and smiling and joyful, you have no doubt as to the emotion they're feeling. Share your joy with the crystals, and you will notice that each of the 12 skulls begin to resonate with the vibrations of your voice and your sound. My dog still wants to get in on this. And beloveds, that in itself is a lesson. We are human. Let us never forget the value that we have as humans. We have the most valuable gift in all of the galaxies. We can love on purpose. And so it is. Take a few deep breaths in of this wonderful cave experience, knowing that you can come back anytime. Each time you may be attracted to the same skull. You may be attracted to different ones. You must never ever try to touch the 13th skull. It's etheric in the 6th dimension anyway. This is not about who can do the most. That would not be beneficial now, would it, beloved? However, it is about how you can give to Gaia, how you can bring light, how you can recognize and acknowledge the energies that are already created, and how that we as a civilization, we are ready to leave the dark behind. We are ready to love on purpose. Now, move yourself out of the cave, saying thank you to the 2 priestesses. By the way, they're all smiles now, for they have felt your offering. Just allow yourself now to relax and be in the afterglow. You may actually feel cellular memories awakening. I am assured that you will never be overwhelmed by the awakening, that it is at the rate that you are ready for. So, be in the arms of the Mother Essence. I do want to talk about that just a moment before we close. So long we have been under patriarchal rule, and It's time for more of a balance between the male and the female, because the feminine presence is nurturing and loving. That is what is needed. I invite you to join me for 10 days of experiencing Divine Mother Love. It begins this week. However, if you're watching this 6 weeks from now, it doesn't matter. There'll be a link and you can register. And every day you're going to get a very short transmission of just what you need. What do you need? You need some loving, nurturing, motherly arms to hold you. While you're here, subscribe to my channel. Please come back and start this video from the point where the tutorial was over. And I'll try to make a note of that. I'm going to do closed captions on this. Anyway, this is Rebecca Marina Messenger telling you thank you, God bless, and I love you on purpose.